What's up, Park? What's up, Vahid? I'm gonna be painting this dude here today. Basically in the same color scheme as the other ones. I'm gonna try to do it as quickly as possible just to show you guys how fucking easy this is. So I have a thick brush here, and I'm going to start with, so he's primed black, so that's just easy to do. Just take a spray paint can and fucking get with it. I'm gonna take this paint here, I'm gonna get rid of a bit, and I'm gonna just come in and just fucking slather this guy like turquoise, and then I'm gonna add some light blue to him after. Get some in there too, on the inside of his arm there. Basically what I'm looking for here is to give this dude a base coat, is what it's called. Just fucking go to town. Okay? That's pretty much the first step. Fucking easy mode, right? Then, while it's drying, I'm going to prep my next color, which is this light blue here. I'm going to mix it with another color. You don't have to mix colors at all. But I just want to get a little bit more of that same darker turquoise that we put on him into this blue. And then I'm just going to start from the top. And I'm going to hit spots that I think the light would lighten up his armor. I'm not going to hit everything, and I'm not going to go digging into the crevices. This is a bit of a, we call this kind of like a slap chop fucking easy mode, quick and donezo. And then I'm going to add some on the back here. Then I'm going to go back here, give him that same pop onto the backpack, the back of that piece there. And as I get less and less paint, I'm just gonna let it lose its vibrancy, and I can go in a little bit more like intense. Okay, that's pretty much the first step. There's some paint here I'd like to get in there. I am gonna dig a little bit, and that's it. Okay. Now I'm gonna switch brushes. I'm gonna go with this one here. This is a 2. That just goes to show you don't even need a really precise brush. I'm gonna take this red. This is the accent color. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to this, just so that it doesn't go on super cakey. I'm gonna start finding spots that I want red. And I'm doing this while this is still drying. It's just a different part of the miniature that has less paint on it. I'm gonna grab this loincloth here. And then those bat wings at the top, I want these red. Right? These ones up here. What you'll notice is it doesn't take a lot of precise work. It's basically paint by numbers at the end of the fucking day. I'm gonna add a bit of water because it's getting a little gloopy. I added too much water, so I'm gonna add a bit more paint. I'm gonna go fetch the inside of these bat wings here. See, my hand's not steady at all right now. It's fucking shaking. But I'm just gonna shove my arm right onto the desk. Because of that, it's gonna be a lot more steady. You could even tuck your arms into your your ribs, your elbows to your ribs. I'm just gonna go over and pick out these wings here while this is still drying. Just like that. Okay, that's the two main colors of the miniature, and then we're gonna do the trim. The trim's the hard part, right? Because if I fuck this up, I'm gonna have to go back over the blue. I'm gonna shake it up a bit. Grab some of this metallic paint here. And I'm just gonna start grabbing all these metal parts. Could do this a different color. Could do this like bones, like a rib cage would be cool. This is the hard part that I was talking about. You gotta go over and get all this trim here. I'm not even using like a very small brush. All I'm doing is I'm manipulating the angle where the brush is touching the miniature so that it's like the highest part. And that way I don't accidentally go digging and touching the other parts. There's some trim here. This guy's got a lot of it. Chaos Marines have some of the most you're gonna see, and it's like got spikes and shit, random ass skulls. The cool thing about acrylics is it really dries quickly in comparison to like oil-based paints, which are super nice to do like a nice blend. If you want like a blended effect, using oil paints is they take like fucking hours to dry, so you can get some pretty wicked looking blends. And then I notice here, I don't like how much coverage I have here, so I'm actually going to go back over this red cloth later on. Some more trim here. Try to get myself a bit more centered on the camera. I'm going to get this belt. And I'm going to go here and grab this gauntlet. Add a bit more of this paint to my palette. You get this armor trim here in the back. This here. The legs are kind of pokes out right here. Like that. Fucking grab some of this shit here. Grab these vents. I want these to be brass. I want this to be brass. And just get the little top here. You gotta think this guy's a three-dimensional shape, so you gotta flick him around and check out. Oh, maybe I missed a piece here. Get the back of his leg. Oh, that looks pretty good. There's a piece up here. You're not going to see it because it's hidden by the sword right now. He's got a little skull on his chest. We're going to get the trim here. Get this trim here and then go back, grab this rib cage. And up here. I'm going to leave that skull. I'm going to do that skull white, I think. There we go. So he's pretty much done. Just need to do the shoulders and the backpack. Add a bit more of this brass. We're going to go all the way around. It could be kind of thick with this. But the thicker you are, the more detail you're going to obscure. So that's something to keep in mind, right? You can do multiple thin coats. That's going to take time. It's going to add time to your painting process. Right now, I wanted to show you guys how fucking easy this is to do. If I wanted to care less about the paint job. These are not my miniatures that I put a fuckload of work into. And then his arm here. Then I'm going to check the gun. Yeah, I'm going to do these bullet casings. Brass for bullet casings. That makes sense, right, Park? Haha. And then just going to finish off the backpack here. See, it's getting a little watered down, so I'm gonna add a bit more. So this, like I said, is the hardest part. Once you have this pretty much donezo, you're chilling. Re-thicken this out. And then I think the inside of the arm, yeah, right here. Okay, so this is like tabletop quality. You can get away with this. This is fine. People will play, like you could go to a tournament with this and people wouldn't bat an eye. Don't need to do more. I'm just gonna add that second layer to the red like I said I would. Get some better coverage. If you find it's not like a flat color, you don't have enough coverage. Just need to add some more. I'm finding it's very watery for some reason, so add a bit more paint. And then this cloth has a backside to it. I'm not going to forget that. Just like that. Okay. And what's missing? Some silver. I'm just going to go find the silver here. Here, Iron Warrior. Looks good. Nice and gloopy. Just add this to the sword that he's got. And the barrel of the gun. Then the spikes. And then a bit on his helmet. These tubes, I want these tubes to have a bit of like shine to them. On his chest, right there. There's also a belt buckle here. We could fucking give that a dab. And then that's pretty much it. So what's some other parts we could do? Well, he's got a little pistol holster on his leg. So we're gonna take a little bit of brown. Just do that up real quick. Just like that. And get the top of it. Then if I want, I could even do his little belt here, the same color. Oh, look, he's got another pouch. Let's do that one. Okay. So this is base coating, okay? Once he's at that point, all you really need to do is give it a couple of minutes to dry. He's gonna take about 2-3 minutes. So I'll just do a little bit of steel on this dude. Pipes here. Here. There's a little loop there. And the other side of this. Little loop. He's got a grenade. Some chains. He's got a knife here. We could do that in steel. He's got a sword. Fucking do the tip of that. And all the blades. He's got a little fucking hook on there. And then the other side of the sword. All the other teeth for his chainsaw. And then all these little pipes. I'm going to add a little bit of silver too. Okay, just like that. Yeah, it said it didn't take very long. The silver grenade, just like that. Get that done. Okay, cool. So now you're entertained enough. You can do this guy. Back at it. This is step 2. Okay, we're gonna do a shade. I'm gonna go find my Drakenhoff. This is my go-to shade for Nightlords. You're gonna see it really balances out everything. And what this color does is, especially if you use it across the whole model, the same color, is it gives it all a unifying tinge. So they're all going to be tinted a little bit of this dark blue. And it's going to go in all the recesses. You can be very generous with this. You can never put too much. I would, like, that's my personal opinion. This stuff is created to have a bit more, and it's going to pool in the recesses, and that's what you want. That's the effect you want. Now you don't want it to pool so much that you got like big old globs on the armor, but you do want it to kind of create some wear, it's going to also accentuate all the shadows in the miniature. So all the parts where they join, this will create like, you picture you're doing like you're doing a fucking drawing, right? Right now what you did is you just put all the colors into your drawing without like creating the outlines, the black lines for it. So what this does is, because it sets in between all the colors, like where all the colors are joining, is it creates those black lines for you, right? Like it's gonna go between these claws that he's got on his leg, where the armor panels meet, where all these joints are. It's going to weather everything down just a bit. Especially, it really depends on the color you're going to use. What people typically use is an Agrax Earth shade. That's more of a brown. But for these guys, they're going to look a little colder, a little bit more... Well, they're Nightlords, so they're supposed to be this midnight black. They're hunters, they're haunters. They come in and they flay people alive for the fun of it. They were never good guys. Even before they rebelled, they were the masters of fear. And this is the part that's going to take the longest out of the entire process, is you waiting for this miniature to be done drying. Once he's done drying, that's pretty much it. Forgot to do this side of the sword. The big thing with shades, you always want to make sure you give it a good shake, because there's an agent in the paint, and if you don't shake it up enough, it'll get all glossy. Don't want that. It'll just shine where it pools. Bad news bears. That's it. For now. Yep. He's got this dark midnight blue look. And all that brass, look at how much that brass has cooled down. It's almost like a gold, like a really, really brassy gold now, where it dries. And what I recommend is, when he's drying, you're just going to leave him standing up. Gravity's going to naturally pull all that shade down. And then once he's done drying, we're going to add some of this white. We're going to use that to pick out the skulls. He's not quite done drying, but I'm getting a little impatient. So he's got a little... I'm going to find spots that are relatively dry on the mini. Give him a little paint. He's got a bit too much shade here. So I'm going to wash off my brush, dry it down, and come in and pick up some of that shade that's pooling on his face. Later on, I want to actually paint this face white once it dries. So that's it for now. One Nightlord start to finish.